if we don't think differently, when John said nothing changes, nothing changes, I go a step further and say if nothing changes, we allow, it does change, but not necessarily the way we want it to change. We default to patterns of behaviour. So by asking, we have to ask different questions. If you want to get different results, you've got to ask yourself different questions. I get clients that come to me that all they ask themselves all the time is, why does my life suck? Yeah. On the 37,000th time, you think, well, that's not working, is it? So maybe I can say, well, what can I do differently in my life to stop it sucking, if that's what I think. But seriously, it's funny, but I see that all the time. Everybody gives themselves a harder time than they give other people. Everybody sets themselves standards that they wouldn't possibly expect a loved ones to meet. Now, what causes us to do that, to set ourselves up here? Because a standard is just that, a standard. If you don't meet it, you're constantly going to be disappointing yourself. So I actually wrote a blog post once that created a lot of interest called urging people, lower your standards. That doesn't mean lower your morals, that doesn't mean do things that are unethical or whatever. It means stop giving yourself a hard time all the time, because you're all the most important person in the world to you. Because if you don't look after yourself first, then it's impossible to be the best person you can be for those around you. So, does that answer your question? Probably not.
But then you talk about reaching for things that are unrealistic. But somebody. Okay. So you're saying lower.
No, a standard is the level that you set for yourself. So a standard may be that if I don't achieve X, then I'm not worthy. Now, aiming for, so if a client comes to me, one of the things I'll do with a client is I'll urge them to aim for. So I had a guy come to me once. He had a goal to earn $3 billion. That's a pretty big goal, I would imagine. Now, I love it when I get things like that, because I'm never worried about a client missing a goal. If you came to me and said, I've got a goal of earning 10 grand, and we hit it, and then you came to me and said, I've got a goal of 100 grand, but we only got to 90. Now, at the 90, you may walk away. You can create like something called a dopamine crash if you don't hit your goal. You might walk away thinking, oh, I failed in my goal. I'm actually happy as a coach because I've got you there rather than there. Do you know what I mean? So that's what I mean. So people get mixed up with goals in terms of if I don't hit it, I failed. Nonsense. We're trying to give 1 million copies of this book away. Do you think if we get to 900,000, we're going to say, oh, what a failure. John, we failed again. We've only helped 900,000 people. What a failure. I actually had somebody tell me that if you only get to 500,000, you failed. I'm like, okay, that's the kind of failure I can deal with. That's your map of the world and that's your reality. And if you want to believe that, that's fine. I can't do that. But yeah, definitely aim high. But don't give yourself a tough time if you don't get there. It's only life. It's not serious.
They actually had the same discussion on sports radio yesterday, ESPN. You're talking about football. Okay. You're talking about every NFL team's goal is to win the Super Bowl.
Sure.
And only one team's going to win it. Does that mean the other 31 teams is a failure?
Absolutely not. I've been into American football since 1984. I'm a Rams fan.
Okay.
25 years of misery was something. Three years of not quite understanding what was going on, but we were good. It's just like so. I get that now. Yeah, it's how you judge yourself, set your standards.